Hello there. I'm Randi Roberts. I am an executive and leadership development coach, and I'm really happy to be with you today live, or if you're listening to this afterwards, to kick off the year and talk about some of the things that I think are really important to you accomplishing everything you want to during this year. So I can't believe it's 2025, but it is. So we embrace it. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today, we're going to start with is talking about our relationship with comfort and our relationship with discomfort, and sort of challenging our mindset on that with um, how we approach it and what it means for us. This is something that I've been talking to a lot of folks about lately. And when you think about it, I kind of think like I have a visual in mind of, your comfort zone's in the middle. It's where you feel safe. It keeps us safe. It keeps us doing things the way we know how to do them. So it's comfortable from that regard, but it also can keep us playing small. So outside the comfort zone is the growth zone. It's where you're challenged, you're moving forward. There's a lot of things coming at you for good and for bad, which is what we're going to talk about. And the line between those comfort zone and growth zone is discomfort. So when we're getting close to discomfort, or when we're moving across it even, how can we best set ourselves up for that situation, and going there when it best serves us and staying safe when it best serves us, because each one has its time and its place. So, when I think about, uh, I have gone through phases where I have literally, like, discomfort, bring it on. I actually had on my calendar every day for a while, what have you done to get uncomfortable lately? Because I felt like I was being a little stagnant. This was back in my corporate career. I felt like I was being a little stagnant, doing things the way I needed to do them, and I needed to really embrace that discomfort. So every day on my calendar was that question: what have you done to get uncomfortable lately? And it makes me think about a discussion I heard recently about courage. And I don't know to whom to attribute this, but the discussion was around courage isn't um, avoiding things, doing things because you're afraid. Courage is doing the thing even though you're afraid. And I think the comfort zone and discomfort is similar kind of thing. You can, with the right mindset, you can embrace the discomfort and do the thing anyway, which is what enables you to grow. So, that's the thing I want us to think about challenging today, and hopefully this will be thought provoking for you, and you'll carry this forward. So, a couple of points to support this premise of using comfort when staying in the comfort zone when it's appropriate, moving out into discomfort when that best serves you. So I'll make some points for each. Like the comfort zone, one of the downsides of staying in your comfort zone is it limits your potential. We don't really think about it this way a lot of times, but it can, because we're doing things the way we've known how to do them before, the way they've always been done, it can lead us to stagnate a little bit, and it doesn't allow you to try new things. That's the comfort zone. Whereas if you get discomfortable, I just came up with a new word. If you get uncomfortable into that discomfort space, it can really drive innovation and adaptability, because you have to do things in a different way. Your stress level may be up, the answer isn't as clear. So it actually can drive some innovation there. Discomfort also sparks learning. I don't know that I ever really thought about this discrete point, but when you step into unfamiliar territory, your brain actually forms new connections. You accelerate your personal and professional development. You see new possibilities. You provide that example for your team. So that right there makes me think that discomfort is a good thing. It just is disrupting patterns. And we know what that does to your brain. From a leadership perspective, leaders really grow through challenges. I don't know about you, but The moments in my career that I can think about that really propelled my growth and my development were the times that were the toughest. And so if you have that mindset of, "Ooh, this feels uncomfortable," like your body will tell you that, you may start to feel some anxiety. If you can really embrace that as here comes the opportunity, you really will grow as a leader. And again, provide that example for your team. It also builds resilience. The more the tough times you deal with, like, you build that muscle of dealing with tough times. So the next time it's easier. That doesn't mean you're going to be repeating yourself, but internalizing the process of taking on that discomfort, like drop in new content, but you will have that muscle memory for how you take on situations that are new, unsure, uncomfortable. Another point in support of taking on discomfort is avoiding it can lead to complacency. So playing it safe, while it may feel good in the moment, it will lead to missed opportunities. You will let things go by you because you're in that safe zone. You don't have your head up as much. You're not looking around and seeing them. You're not drawing them to you. And if you kind of get a sense that there is an opportunity out there, you might let it pass you by. That seriously reduces your competitive edge. Any opportunities you miss, your competitors will take advantage of. So there's another case to be made for embracing the discomfort. Discomfort also builds resilience. It builds that mental toughness. It builds that sense of, um, I can do this. I can handle stress. I can handle new things. People who are embrace that discomfort and know that they have the ability to deal in those situations that are uncomfortable will take on new things. They will be the ones to post for a job where they meet 70% of the qualifications, not 100, knowing that they can take it on and they can figure it out. They may even seek out those stretch assignments for the stretch because if you take on something that's easy, that's a well-worn path, you may get bored. So really having the confidence, knowing that you have the mental toughness to take on those challenges, you can lean into them and you can be seen. The way you will show up in those situations lets others know that you're a safe bet, even if it's something that you haven't done before. This one I thought was interesting. Discomfort strengthens relationships. Discomfort strengthens relationships? What? But think about it. One of the things that can be uncomfortable is having those really tough, honest conversations, the difficult ones that you need to take on that you might need to sort of psych yourself into. And they will be uncomfortable, but it really does build trust. It improves team dynamics. It improves the performance of your team. Sometimes the end result isn't what you want in a situation where you're having to provide constructive feedback to your team. It may result in somebody separating from the company or you having to separate them from the company. And that isn't necessarily a fun outcome, but it may be the most productive thing for your team. It may even be the best outcome for that individual. Discomfort really does strengthen relationships and productivity. And the truth is, real success lies outside of that comfort zone. Every significant achievement really involves risk. It involves uncertainty. It involves the willingness to stretch beyond what feels easy. And not just the willingness, but the eagerness, the invitation to stretch beyond what feels easy. Look, there's a time for staying in your comfort zone, and I completely get it. If there's a lot of things that are out of control in other areas of your life, or there's things that are out of control in your company, there are times when staying in that safe zone is exactly what you want to do. But it comes at a cost. And it's important, as with so many things, to just be mindful about which place best serves you. So I guess a thought that I want to leave you with is that discomfort is not the enemy, it's your guide to growth. And if we take it on that way and really reframe how we see discomfort from being a threat to being an opportunity, we really will open doors for ourselves. So as I've talked to folks about this topic, and as I started to publicize that I was going to be doing my live on that this month, I've gotten some questions. So I want to share those with you because they may be the questions that are on your minds. So the first one is, how do I encourage my team to embrace discomfort, especially when they're resistant to change? And this is a situation that I certainly have dealt with. I talk to clients about it now, but when I was in the corporate world, I dealt with teams that were everywhere on the spectrum in terms of embracing discomfort. So, how do you encourage them to embrace it, especially when they're resistant to change? I would say one of the best ways to do that is leadership by example. But you have to talk to them about what you're going through. It's not enough for you to have a talk with yourself about getting comfortable with embracing discomfort and challenging that approach. You have to sort of narrate the situation for them and talk to them about your thought process and how you are embracing it. And by doing that, and it could be a really simple conversation. We've got these different options. I'm not sure about this one. It feels a little bit riskier, which isn't always comfortable, but I think we're going to pursue it. And here's why. It's just talking them through that process. And then it may be a discussion with the group about, what are they uncomfortable about? What surprises concern them or obstacles they may see coming? And working through, how are you going to deal with them if they come? That kind of thinking not only is sort of practice for how you handle uncomfortable situations, but it gets them thinking, knowing that it's okay, that the growth is there for them in taking it on. And it also opens the door for them to talk about it with their peers or with you if something comes up that they're not entirely sure about. You can really take it on with the standpoint of, this is awesome. We are so uncomfortable. Think about the growth opportunity here. Let's go. And that makes it really okay for others to be feeling that way too. Another question that I've gotten is this one I thought was interesting. How can I balance stepping outside my comfort zone while still maintaining my confidence and credibility as a leader? And I think that's real. You know, even those of us that are most comfortable as leaders, confident in our skills and our abilities, okay being vulnerable when we don't, when we don't know the answer, even in those situations, we still want to look like, we have a feel for the path forward, or real confidence that we're going to figure it out, even if we don't know the answer. So, looking confident, maintaining your credibility is a real consideration. And I would say your approach, you don't have to feel confident that you know the answer. It's more about expressing confidence that you can navigate the unknown. Like, we're going to figure this one out together. And rather than, think about yourself as someone who always knows the answer, what if you thought about yourself as someone who always figures it out when things are unclear? When, things are a little bit murky, you find the path. If your team saw you expressing confidence in that ability, that that's something that's really inspiring. That's something that people that will be drawn to, that gives them confidence, maybe even more so, even more than knowing the answer, confidence that you can find the way through when things are tough. So that's what I would say, is really sort of redefine how you see yourself in that situation and have confidence in that. So I hope that one's helpful. The third question that I got was around, how can I create a culture on my team where discomfort is viewed positively rather than something to avoid? And I think that's important too, because this sets it up not just to be normal that we're going to have things that make us uncomfortable, not just to be the growth opportunity, but to be something that you all are set to learn from. And I think something that can help here is you can have the discussion prospectively about what are we going to do when these situations come up. But there's also a lot of value in a look back, take a retrospective approach to the things that you've accomplished. And I think along the lines of like an after action review that the military does. And that's really taking a look at any challenging situation. If there was literally a battle, a firefight that didn't go well, they embrace it as a learning opportunity and really take a look at what went well. What would they want to do differently if faced with the same situation again? And you can do that with difficult things. You could either process something retrospectively of this challenging, uncomfortable situation came up. Here's kind of what we did. We made those decisions for the right reasons at the right time. But based on what we now know, what do we want to do next time? Like that keeps it very forward looking. There's no sense of we were wrong, we screwed up. It's more a let's learn from it. Let's look forward. So I think that can be a really good way to learn from these situations, to embrace this in your culture. You might even play it out with some of the challenges that you're looking at that may come your way. Really, what do we want to be doing? What if this were to happen? How would we learn from this? So you can almost do a war games on it. Or you can look at it retrospectively. But I think that's one of the healthiest ways that you can really build that into your culture. Create the learning opportunity, embrace it for what it is, and really welcome it as the catalyst for change. I would love to hear what all of you think. You're experienced leaders. You have dealt with these situations before. What has this discussion made you think about trying differently? Or what have you tried that I may not have mentioned that can help other folks in my community? So thank you so much for listening in. I'm super excited about this year and looking forward to learning from all of you and building that into the content that I share with you every month going forward.